D'Souza is the Chief of Growth and Insights at Bizom and now joins us on the show. Good to have you on board. What's the outlook then when it comes to how the regional players are performing? Is there a sense that they are growing at a faster clip?
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for having me here. I think one of the good things that you're seeing in September is that you are seeing almost a revival in the sales trends that we've seen in the month. And I think while the quarterly numbers are still in the red, but I think what you're seeing is a strong build-up to festival. And more importantly, we're seeing that the monsoons, the recovery that we've seen in September has helped the whole season kind of recover into a normal phase. So I think that is good from a agri-economy-led, rural economy-led growth. Among the regional brands, we're definitely seeing good strength in terms of faster growth. I think we've seen this in multiple categories, including packaged foods, where we are seeing them doing far, far better than the national players. And I think we will see it across many other categories also.
Fair enough. So what about the outlook in terms of the festive season? Is there a sense that preparation is underway and there's going to be a very buoyant festive season, or are expectations sort of subdued this time round?
No, so to be honest, my expectations have gone up after looking at September numbers. I wasn't as optimistic in August, but I think what it has done, the rainfall has just changed the look on my face, and I now have a smile on my face there. And I think when I look at the stocking across categories, right, I think I look at home care, personal care, packaged foods, confectionery, all of them showing very, very strong stocking, which means the entire millions of Kirana universe is now picking up and stocking because that's what consumers have started asking them for. So that's a great sign. I think the only place where I still see a challenge in terms of sales value growth really is maybe in the branded commodities, especially in the edible oil segments, where you've seen almost a 40% drop in prices year on year, and I think hence you're seeing a drop in sales value growth over there. But barring that, I think beverages are moderate. Rather than that, I think you're seeing great stocking and demand across the other categories.
All right. And what about the impact of food inflation impacting the overall household budget? Is that a major concern?
Food inflation definitely is a concern. It has remained a concern for sure. But what you are now seeing is 3 or 4 things that are kind of going well, right? I think you are seeing all the essential commodities from an Indian economy standpoint going to be in control. And I begin with edible oil. It's actually been dropped severely from last year, so that's been positive. Rice, wheat, there have been enough export control measures. You will see enough of release of stock in the Indian market to control prices. So that is again a good measure. I think even though you will see some kind of palm oil and sunflower oil, I think also dropping further. I think even that's all going to just be positive on the food plate. So I think from a festive season standpoint, I don't see any of this being a dampener as it will not only festive, but even the end of the year. I think we should have food inflation largely in control in the sense that I get.
Fair enough. And what are the kind of demand trends that you're seeing in mass products versus the premium products?
So I think one of the things that we're seeing is, look, premium has been largely inflation-proof, especially the ultra-premium category, right? I think that has always been inflation-proof, and I think it doesn't really depend on how much of even rainfall to that extent doesn't kind of affect it as much. But of course, mass product depends on earnings for people who kind of the buyers at least. And I think you are seeing growth of premium segment across categories. We are seeing more and more people move toward the higher end of the segment, and not only in the time of premiumness, but also in terms of larger value packs. I think which is just to say that they're looking at more value among products. So I think that trend continues, and I think that trend is expected to kind of go strong for the next at least couple of quarters.
And which are the categories, according to you, that are seeing growth?
Yeah, so I think we've seen double-digit growth in almost all 4 of the 3 or 4 of the categories, including home care, packaged food. We've also seen good stocking even in confectionery. Personal care has turned the tide. I think it was negative last month in August. September has turned around. I think we're seeing a positive month. I would only expect to see it go into maybe high single digits or maybe double digits in October.
So what is it that we can expect, you think, Akshay, going forward in the quarterly performances from some of these companies? Because the underlying trend seems to be that there is a stark difference between what the rural volume growth has been and what the urban spends are. Rural definitely is on the downslide, as we've heard from, Marico, GCPL and the likes, and Dabur as well. And the urban consumption theme is what continues to pick up and see a volume uptick.
Yeah, so I think even we did see the same trend. I think what we saw is a 2.3% drop overall for the quarter, the Jas quarter. What we are seeing is that largely due to July and August, and I think largely August also, because August saw just 64% of the LPA in terms of rainfall, which was a severe shortage, and I think there were enough of fears of El Nino at that point. But I think September has eased that. So I think while rural is going to be a little subdued compared to urban, I think rural is also looking at September numbers definitely make me optimistic about how the festival season and how rural will pan out going forward. Because specific to September, I think rural-led growth for FMCG. Rural growth was higher than urban, and I think that's cause for optimism for me.
But is the consumer getting a little conscious and is spending getting impacted at all in these high inflationary times?
No, yes. So I think while rural was impacted and I think rainfall was a challenge, we did see a lot of control on spends. We did see categories where the consumer started a little bit of down trading from the say mid-size packs to lower size packs. But that this was up until August is what I'm telling you about. But I think as consumption and as festivities kind of take off, and I think you're looking at our big Diwali coming up early November. The whole of October is where I will see a spike in demand is what I'm expecting. We do expect the gifting season to also fuel consumption, also drive a consumption spike. And we're also seeing brands trying to capture a larger share of this consumption spike at the retail front, at the Kirana store. And I think that's an important trend because suddenly that definitely means that when Kiranas are investing in stocking, it also is a strong indicator of what consumers really want. And that's really the flavor of where India is heading towards.
All right. Good to have you on board. Thanks so much for joining in and putting all of those details into perspective in terms of what we're seeing with respect to the regional players, the festive demand, as well as the overall pricing trends.